Hi there, grade 5 learners! Are you excited for our English journey for today? That's great! I am Teacher Hershey. Do you want to know how to distinguish a fact from an opinion? How about how to provide an evidence to support a fact or opinion? Grab your pen, paper, and self-learning modules. Stay with me until the end of this video and let's start learning. Let's start by differentiating a fact from an opinion. A fact is something that can be proven to exist or to be true. Let's have some examples. The Earth is the only planet in the solar system that can support life. The rings of Saturn are made of ice and rock. Apollo 11 was the spacecraft that first landed humans on the moon. What can you say about these examples? That's a good note. Our first two examples are based on scientific observations, while the third one was a historical event. Some signal words used in stating a fact are numbers and statistics, documents, references, historical events, time and dates, names and places. An opinion is a viewpoint, feeling, or a person's preference or perception of a given item or event. Let's see our examples. I think province is better than city. Volleyball is the best ball game. Mountains are more beautiful than beaches. Some signal words used in stating an opinion are believe, think, feel, maybe, perhaps, suggest, usually, good, and bad. Now let's go back to our examples. Can you see the signal word being used in the first sentence? That's a nice observation. The word think makes this an opinion. How about the second and third example? Yes, the words best and beautiful show that these are just a person's preference. And some people may have a different preference. Remember that facts can be proven, but opinions cannot. That's why most facts are supported by proof. However, opinions are supported by specific reasons. Now let's have our first practice on page 1 of your module. Copy the statements on your answer sheet. Then, determine whether the statements are fact or opinion by encircling fact or opinion at the end of each statement. We will answer all of them first. Then, we'll check your answers later. If you need more time to copy the statements, you can pause the video. Let's start. The fastest land-dwelling creature is the cheetah. Is this a fact or opinion? Let's go to the next one. Cell phones emit radiation that may or may not cause brain cancer. Is this a fact or opinion? Let's move on to the next one. There seems to be too much testing in public school. Do you think this is a fact or opinion? Let's keep going. A prison is one of the worst places in the planet. Do you think this is a fact or an opinion? Let's continue. It is wrong for people under the age of 21 to drink alcohol. Is this a fact or an opinion? Let's move on to the next one. Oranges contain both calcium and vitamin C. Do you think this is a fact or opinion? Let's continue. Diamonds are the hardest substance on Earth. Is this a fact or opinion? Let's go to the next one. The price of gas has grown to become too expensive. Do you think this is a fact or an opinion? Let's proceed. Chicken has more proteins than carrots. Do you think this is a fact or an opinion? And the last one, vegetarians are healthier than people who eat meat. Is this a fact or opinion? Now let's check your answers. Let's have the first statement. This is a fact. The next one is also a fact. The third one is an opinion. The next one is also an opinion. This statement is also an opinion. The next statement is a fact. The next one is also a fact. The eighth statement is an opinion. The next statement is a fact. And the last one is an opinion. Good job, grade 5! Now let's learn how to provide evidence to support a fact and opinion. Now let's read an article about the Mayon volcano. But before that, let's have our guide questions first. What is the article about? Who were involved? How many cultural and natural properties of the Philippines are inscribed in the official list of World Heritage Sites? What are they? Why do you think there is a need to preserve and protect the wildlife sanctuary of the animals? In your opinion, did Governor Joey Salcedo and the team make a sound and right move in nominating NVMP? Why? Now let's read the article together. Mayon Park in UNESCO's short list of World Heritage Sites. The Mayon Volcano Natural Park or MVNP in Legazpi City, Albay is now in the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization or UNESCO tentative list of World Heritage Sites. UNESCO published the listing of Mayon Park following the submission by the Philippine National Commission for UNESCO in March. The listing shortlists the volcano park for inscription by the World Heritage Committee in the next 5 to 10 years. The UNESCO list cites Mayon Volcano Natural Park for its aesthetic value as a perfect cone-shaped volcano and for its wildlife preservation, which encompasses a large number of flora and fauna habitat types which are unique, diverse, and extremely important in the Philippines and in Asia. The Mayon Volcano Natural Park covers a total area of 5,775.70 hectares with 6 towns and 3 cities of Albay province within 10 to 19 kilometers of its crater. Declared as a protected area in June 2000 by Presidential Proclamation No. 413, Mayon Park has since addressed and controlled and instituted protective measures against identified threats to the protected core area and buffer zone such as urbanization, habitat loss, invasive species, pollution, eruption, occasional forest fire, and unsustainable harvesting of species and forest area management. Mayon Volcano is known as the most active volcano in the Philippines and one of the most active volcanoes in the world, which has a record of 51 eruptions in the last 4 centuries. Despite or because of its volatility, Mayon Volcano is considered one of the most featured landforms in the country, earning countless published stories and photographs revealing its famed peak and grandeur in all weather conditions. The next step being undertaken by the Philippines after the World Heritage Sites tentative listing is the submission of the nomination documents, which are evaluated annually by the World Heritage Center for inclusion in the official list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Albay Governor Joey Salceda leads the team working on the nomination documents that would serve as records to prove the efforts of the Mayon Park in supporting the wildlife conservation and protection. Thus far, the Philippines already has 6 cultural and natural properties inscribed in the official list of World Heritage Sites, namely the Baroque Churches of the Philippines, Tubataha Reefs Natural Park, Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, Historic Town of Vigan, Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, and Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary in the southeastern part of eastern Mindanao. Now let's answer the questions. Question number 1. What is the article about? The article is about the Mayon Park being in UNESCO's shortlist of World Heritage Sites. Let's answer the next question. Who were involved? Since the article talks about the MVNP being in the UNESCO's tentative list, the Mayon Park, together with the government of Albay, work hand in hand with effort and hope of being included in the official list of UNESCO. Let's answer the third question. How many cultural and natural properties of the Philippines are inscribed in the official list of World Heritage Sites? We have 6. What are they? Let's name them. The Baroque Churches of the Philippines, Tubataha Reefs Natural Park, Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, Historic Town of Vigan, Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, and Mount Hamiguitan Range Wildlife Sanctuary in the southeastern part of eastern Mindanao. For questions number 4 and number 5, you can give your own opinions. Now let's have an example of a fact and opinion about the Mayon volcano. Fact: Mayon volcano is an active volcano. How can we say that this is true? We have this evidence. Residents living in the communities around the volcano need to evacuate if there is an alert level from the PHIVOLCS. We have an opinion. The province of Albay has many tourist attractions than any other destinations in the country. How is this an opinion? We have this evidence. There are many other tourist spots and destinations around the country other than Mayon volcano. You have learned that a fact is something that can be observed, historical, and proven to be true, meaning it can be verified by observation, experience, or experiment. An opinion refers to one's feeling, thought, belief, or judgment that is not 100% true and cannot be proven. It also varies from person to person. However, when you state a fact or opinion, you have to support such claim with evidence. These may include observations, experiences, or conclusions based on experiments or studies. Let's have more practice on page 6 of your module. Read the text and answer the questions that follow. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Number 1. Magsaysay was elected President of the Philippines in 1953. He became a well-loved and trusted president because he championed the Filipinos. If he were alive today, he could have done a lot of good to Filipinos. First question. What does the author think about Magsaysay? What is your answer? If he were alive today, he could have done a lot of good to Filipinos. Next question. What facts did he mention in the paragraph? Magsaysay was elected President of the Philippines in 1953. Now let's go to the second paragraph. In 1639, the Chinese began a rebellion in the Philippines, but it was crushed by Spanish Filipino troops. This could have been prevented if only the Filipinos were a little friendly to the Chinese. Let's have the questions. What fact is noted in the paragraph? The answer: Chinese began a rebellion in the Philippines, but it was crushed by Spanish Filipino troops. Let's have the next question. What was the writer's opinion about the Chinese rebellion? Rebellion could have been prevented if only the Filipinos were a little friendly to the Chinese. Great job! Now, let's have a summary what we had learned today. A fact is an event or situation known to have happened. It means that it has existed and the truth was verified by observation, experience, or experiment. An opinion is a judgment or estimation of what seems to be true. It is not founded on certainty of proof and it varies from person to person. Sometimes, it is influenced by popular feeling. However, when you state a fact or opinion, you have to support such claim with evidence, which may include observations, experiences, or conclusions based on experiment or studies. It's time to do our first activity on page 7 of your module. Read the selection Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, Outstanding Universal Value. Then, identify the paragraph that provides evidence as to why the Rice Terraces was proclaimed by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, making it a world-renowned tourist destination. Now let's read the article together. Rice Terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras, Outstanding Universal Value. The rice terraces of the Philippine Cordilleras are an outstanding example of a developed, living cultural landscape. They can be traced as far as 2 millennia ago in the pre-colonial Philippines. They are found in the remote areas of the Philippine Cordillera Mountain Range on the northern island of Luzon, Philippine Archipelago. These historic terraces cover an extensive area. This property consists of 5 clusters of the most intact and impressive terraces located in 4 municipalities. They are all products of the Ifugao ethnic group, a minority community that has lived in these mountains for thousands of years. The 5 clusters are 1. The Nagakadan Terrace clusters in the municipality of Kiangan, in 2 distinctive rows of terraces divided by a river. 2. The Hungduan Terrace cluster shaped like a spider web. 3. The Central Mayoyaw Terrace cluster characterized by terraces in intervals with the traditional bale or houses and alang or granaries. 4. The Bangaan Terrace cluster in Banawe, the background of a typical Ifugao village. And 5. The Batad Terrace cluster of Banawe that lies in semicircular terraces with a village at its base. The Ifugao rice terraces are an ideal example of a living cultural landscape of beauty beyond compare. The Ifugao rice terraces are valuable contributions of our ancestors to mankind. They were built 2,000 years ago and passed on through generations and an example of an ancient civilization that overcame challenges passed by modernization. Built on steeper slopes of high mountains, and the careful carving of the natural shapes of the hills, the Ifugao rice terraces have complex irrigation systems. Water comes from the forests of the mountain tops. The maintenance of the living rice terraces shows that the whole community works as one. It is based on the knowledge of the rich variety of biological resources which exist in the Ifugao agri-ecosystem. Now let's answer the activity. Which paragraph provides evidence as to why the rice terraces was proclaimed by the UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, making it a world-renowned tourist destination? The answer is paragraph 4. Did you get the answer? Great work! Let's move on to our second activity. The first sentence is the writer's opinion about a certain group of people. Look for sentences that support this opinion from the rest of the paragraph and write these on your answer sheet. The Warais Always Wear a Smile by J. Tapil. The Warais are the happiest people I know. Their local language, known as Waray-Waray, which literally means unworried and untroubled, shows their come what may view about life. They often fail in many things, but they always get back on their feet, ready to try again. When calamities strike and great loss takes place, such as the one brought by Typhoon Yolanda, they experience a great suffering, but they soon recover and smile again. Despite not having enough for their own table, they are always ready to treat their guests and friends to some good food and fine wine during celebrations where they enjoy talking, singing, and dancing like there is no tomorrow. Many of them may still be living in small huts where the living room, bedroom, and kitchen are exactly in the same spot, but you will always see them wearing a smile and a positive attitude each time they talk. Some of them may appear tired of work, yet they keep coming back to enjoy their friends' company. The Warais may not be the richest nor the most talented people, but I am certain that they are the happiest beings on earth because they always wear a smile each time you need to see one. Now let's go back to the question. Which sentence or sentences support the opinion of the author? Sentences 4 to 8 supports the opinion of the author that the Warais are the happiest people. Are you still having fun? We are now down to our third and last activity. Identify whether the statement is a fact or an opinion. Then support the statement by providing evidence or proof to the fact or opinion. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Let's go to sentence number 1. I believe that the president of the country is doing his best to unite the people. The president will serve the country for 6 years. It is better to watch a movie than to listen to music. Boracay is the best place to spend your summer vacation. Star apple is a tree. Now let's check your answers. I hope you learned a lot today. Remember, always have fun in learning. It's been a great time with you grade 5 learners. Again, this is Teacher Hershey. Goodbye and stay safe.